It's been the exact same routine for over 15 years. I get up at 7 a.m., head to the prison accounting office, work until 3 p.m., then go home. I eat pancakes on Sundays and speak to the only person on the phone that I care about, my little sister, Joanna. Hey kiddo, how's the single life treating you these days? It's awesome. I get to wake up whenever the hell I want and make myself dinner at 2 a.m. if I want. How's things with you? Same old, same old. Thanks for checking up on me, Freddie. I always love to hear from you. I heard a strange man's laughter in the background and him say the word, fool. Who was that? Joanna fumbled with the phone. Nobody, just the TV. I could tell she was lying, but let it go. I love you more than anything, kiddo. After we hung up, a strange feeling of dread gripped me because I thought that one day in the future, I would lose her. I mean, we'll lose everyone someday, but the thought of actually losing her was horrible. The next morning, I heard a strange sound, opened my eyes, and saw a man sitting at the edge of my bed with a gun. My adrenaline kicked in, and I quickly sat up. You don't know me. My name's Vito. My boss is a man named Giuseppe Montevito. You heard of him? Unfortunately, I had. Yes. So you know who he is? Good. He's my boss. We know you're the best at what you do, and we require your services. Why would I help the Sicilian mafia? Great question, because you don't have a choice. I grew terrified because when a Sicilian mobster tells you that, they're usually not bluffing. You don't have a choice because we have the only thing in the world that means something to you. My stomach dropped as he showed me a picture on his cell phone of my sister, tied to a chair with a gag in her mouth. I froze. What do you want me to do? Forge the paperwork and get Giuseppe Montevito set free by this afternoon. Every day that goes by and you don't do it, we'll drop off a piece of your sister in a small wooden box on your doorstep with a pink bow on it, starting with her tongue. I closed my eyes. I couldn't even think about what Joanna must be going through right now. And if you decide to contact the police, we'll kill her, and it will not be an open casket, if you get my drift. I obviously didn't have a choice. Fine, I'll do it. He patted the side of my cheek like I was a toddler and smiled. That's a good little forger. He left. I stuck to my normal routine, got dressed, put on my tie like I usually do, and went to work. When I walked in, I held my breath and tried to stay as calm as I could, even if I was trembling inside. I didn't want anyone at work to think anything was different. I found Giuseppe Montevito's case file and brought it into my office. I looked down at his paperwork and held back tears. I knew that if I went through with this, my life would never be the same. But what choice did I have? I love my sister more than anything. So I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, made sure none of my coworkers were watching, then doctored the paperwork and handed it to my boss. He read it and called me into his office. This Montevito release, when did this come in? This morning, sir. Strange. I thought he was a lifer for sure. My spine stiffened and I hid my hands behind my back so he wouldn't see them shaking. Was he on to me? If he digs into this and calls our superiors, I would be busted for sure. He took another long look at the paperwork, then up at me. Well, it's not our call, but I'll tell you this. How much you want to bet that as soon as this bastard gets released, he goes after Senator Perez and his family for putting him behind bars in the first place? Sweat poured down my face, and I quietly prayed that wasn't true. Then he stamped the paperwork and made the call to the warden. Hey, it's Warner. It's time to release Giuseppe Montevito. The order came down from the judge. I felt a mix of relief for not being busted, yet terror at what would happen next. The old news stories from his arrest rolled through my mind. Giuseppe Montevito originally got put behind bars for single-handedly murdering several families and didn't stop there. He would murder their dogs, cats, anything that was alive, was eliminated, and he did it with a twisted sense of joy. He is one of the most evil individuals this world has ever seen, and I just set him free. I headed out to my car, got in, banged on my steering wheel, and quietly cried. The man was a monster. I saw the metal gates swing open, and two prison guards walked Montevito out. He glanced over at me and grinned, knowing it was me that set him free. The sick bastard blew me a kiss, then got into an SUV and took off. I immediately drove over to Joanna's house, rushed up to her front door, and pounded. My heart raced when I saw that the door was slightly open. I slowly entered, terrified, then froze when I saw that the living room was in complete disarray. There were empty cups and beer bottles everywhere. What were they doing in here? Then my guts churned when I saw what looked like blood on the floor that led into the kitchen. Every step I took towards it, my fear grew exponentially because of what I might find. I made my way in, turned the corner of the kitchen, and saw a huge pool of blood. I trembled with pain, then dropped to my knees as tears rolled down my cheeks. What had these animals done to her? Then I jolted up when Joanna stepped into the room. Hey Freddie, what are you doing in here? I was speechless, wasn't sure if I was seeing a ghost. She looked down and realized what I was kneeling in. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I threw a party last night and I started a painting class. I spilled it everywhere. everywhere last night. I obviously had a little too much to drink. She giggled. I was so confused. She looked completely unscathed. Wait a minute. Did you have any contact with any mafia guys in the last couple days? Mafia guys? Seriously? No. Why would I? I had a strong vision of the picture Vito showed me of her tied up and remembered a key detail from it. It had that glossy look to it. Oh my God. It was an AI picture, completely made up. They forged me. The forger. My guts churned. Sweat poured down my face. I started hitting my head. Stupid! Stupid! No! No! I can't believe I fell for that! Fell for what? I stared at her, at a loss. I shook my head. Couldn't tell her. Nothing. I'll call you later. I felt like the weight of the world was on my back, and I rushed back out to my car. I quickly drove away and slammed my fists against the dashboard. I had stupidly let out the worst criminal in the world. Something had to be done, and I knew that I had to do it alone. If I told any of the authorities, they'd arrest me immediately. For now, I only saw one choice in front of me. Find Giuseppe Montevito, stop him from going after Senator Perez and his family, bring him back to prison, and then confess to what I did. I've always been a pencil pusher. Some would even say a total nerd. But 15 years ago, I started taking jiu-jitsu classes, and that's one form of martial art I know how to do. I can't shoot a gun, I can't throw a punch, but I can definitely choke people out and break some arms and legs. So my first plan was to hack into the police database at work, find Senator Perez's address, and immediately head over there. I knocked on his door in a hurry, and Senator Perez opened up. "Hello, sir. You don't know me, but I'm here with a serious warning." He glared at me, concerned. "Giuseppe Montevito has been released, and you need to take your family and leave immediately." He looked at me as if I was crazy. "You've got to take this seriously. He will come for you. Once that man swears vengeance on a family, he follows through. Please, quickly pack your bags and go somewhere no one can find you." Why the hell did the judge decide to let him out anyway? I hesitated, obviously not wanting to admit how he got released. I have no idea. Just promise me you'll leave." He looked stoic, unfazed. "I'm not running away scared from that piece of crap. I can't live in fear, and I don't want to teach my kid to live in fear. But he's intensely dangerous. At least hire a bodyguard. I can take care of myself. Thank you for the heads up, though." He closed the door in my face. I was at a loss, so frustrated. I realized then that I would have to try and protect this family, since I was the idiot responsible for letting a madman walk the streets. As I was walking back to my car, I passed a man with a large snake tattoo creeping up his neck and a thick mustache. He glanced at me, nodded, and smiled. I asked, "Do I know you?" He shook his head. "Nope. Have a great day." I walked away feeling a very strange vibe. I went back to my place, grabbed my handgun, then rushed back to the senator's house and waited in my car down the street. It would only be a matter of time before Giuseppe would make his move. Less than an hour later, I saw an SUV pull up and park right across the street from the senator's house. I couldn't see who was inside, which was terrifying because it had to be Giuseppe and his hit squad. Then my gut churned when I saw Senator Perez, his wife, and his teenage son exiting out of the front door. They were smiling and laughing with each other. Then I witnessed Giuseppe get out of the car with a wicked smirk on his face and pull a machine gun out of his duffel bag. There was about to be an assassination. I froze in terror. "No, no!" I grabbed my gun, shoved my car door open, and rushed towards them. Giuseppe yelled, "You give me a life sentence. I take your life, you ugly bastard." Senator Perez only had enough time to use his body and shield his wife and boys as Giuseppe opened fire and put 3 rounds into his back. I fired towards Giuseppe and missed. Never was a good shot. Giuseppe saw me and turned red with rage. The senator's wife held her dying husband in her hands in shock. Vito and another bodyguard jumped out of their SUV and opened fire at me. I ducked down, terrified, and tried to fire back, but was quickly overwhelmed as bullets bounced all around me, forcing me to dive back into my car and take off. I heard the senator's wife scream out in agony as Giuseppe opened fire on her as well. That forced her to grab her son and run back inside their house. Giuseppe tried to follow her in, but the door was locked. In a traumatized panic, I sped around to the back of the house and saw his wife and son running out of the back in abject terror. I pulled up alongside them. Get in, I'll help." They both got in, and I peeled away. They were both shaking with fear, as was I, and tears were running down their faces. "I'm so sorry. I felt so awful that I was responsible, but had to keep it quiet." His wife stared at me. "How did you know what happened?" I had to come up with a lie and make it quick. I was driving by and happened to witness the whole thing. "I'll take you straight to the police." She grabbed my hand. "I can't thank you enough." I looked through the rearview mirror, and my heart broke when I saw a teenage boy that had just lost his father. I dropped them both off in front of the police station. "Will you come in and testify?" I quietly panicked. The cops would find out how I was involved. "I have an emergency meeting I have to get to for work. I'll swing by later and give my testimony." "Okay." Okay, please do it as quickly as you can because Montevito won't stop until he guns us down as well. My husband told me that he has made a pledge to eliminate all of us. I'm hoping the police give us real protection because he won't stop. I nodded, feeling the gravity of the situation. I turned to her son. I'm so sorry about your father. He was a good man. The son just looked at me with a glossed over, fearful look. I drove away and shook my head, feeling the guilt of knowing that if I hadn't let this maniac out, that boy wouldn't be fatherless. Then I hit the gas because Giuseppe and Vito saw me back at the senator's house and they knew who I was. If they didn't kidnap my sister before, they were sure to try and do something now, so I sped towards her house. On my way over there, my throat tightened when I got a phone call from my boss, Mr. Warner. Hello? You need to come in and explain why you forged paperwork to get Montevito released. I almost crashed my car after hearing that. The police are on their way to pick you up. If it comes out that this is true, that you're working for the Sicilian Mafia, I will go out of my way to ruin you. A senator has been killed because of you. He hung up on me. I heard sirens approaching in the distance, which meant I probably had less than a minute. This nightmare was only getting worse. I wasn't only wanted by the police, I was also now being hunted by the Sicilian Mafia. I rushed over to Joanna's house and ran inside. She was in tears. Just tell me none of what the news reporters or police are saying about you is true. My heart burned. Well, it's complicated. What do you mean, complicated? I'll have to explain later, but I need to make sure you're protected from all of this. Pack a bag and go straight to Aunt Patty's in Albany, right now. What? No, I can't do that. My whole life is here. The Sicilian mob is on their way, and they will end you. Just do what I say. I'll explain everything later. The horror and weight of the situation landed on her, and she froze. Police sirens blared, and I panicked, ran into her bedroom, started climbing out of the window, and looked back at my sister as the cops started pounding at her front door. I love you, and you need to know that everything I've done has been for your safety, even if it was insane and stupid. She held back tears. I don't understand what you're saying. You will one day. Right now you need to promise me that you will go to Aunt Patty's place. Swear it to me. Okay, I will. The cops bashed in, and I took off running out back. I ran down several back streets and alleyways and made it to a bus stop across the neighborhood and hopped on the first bus towards a well-known Sicilian restaurant that Vito and Giuseppe frequently went. I watched them from behind a dumpster down the street, saw them step out, get into an SUV and take off. I hopped into a cab and followed them. I knew that the only way I could clear my name and find any semblance of justice would be to somehow capture Giuseppe and bring him in. I knew that I couldn't sit back and wait for these guys to find me. I needed to surprise them. I made it to a remote street with a mansion and saw Vito and Giuseppe head inside. As night fell, I headed towards Giuseppe and Vito's mansion. I had my gun, but would try and use what I was more comfortable with, my bare hands. I felt every ounce of my being gripped by terror, of my own survival, of my sister's survival. Any demon that I had ever faced was waiting for me. I knew that no matter how scared I was, I had to face it down and complete this insane mission. I snuck around to the back of the mansion and hid behind a bush. I saw a mafia guy come on lookout with a gun in his holster. He lit a cigarette. He was my way in. I was terrified, felt my heart thumping. I waited for him to turn his back to me, then snuck up behind him, wrapped my arms around his neck, and put him in a rear naked choke. He reached for his gun, but I cranked on the choke so hard that he passed out within 3 seconds. I felt his life's energy drain out of him and laid him onto the ground. I dragged him across the lawn, shoved a gag in his mouth, and used my rope to tie him to a tree. I stayed low and went inside the back door, gun drawn. My hand was trembling because I was a bad shot, but they didn't need to know that. All I had to do was corner Giuseppe and figure out a way to drag him out of here. Sweat poured down my face as I made my way towards the kitchen, slowly looked around the edge of the wall and saw no one. I heard voices speaking from the other room, and then heard Giuseppe and Vito upstairs on the balcony. I heard 2 mafia guys in the living room. I just needed to take them out. I quietly made my way towards the living room, looked in, and saw 2 mafia guys watching TV. They were the same 2 bodyguards from the restaurant. One of them stood up, and I quickly swung my head away from the edge of the wall so I wouldn't be seen. He headed into the hallway and went into the bathroom. That's exactly what I needed. I waited for him in the hallway to finish up, then heard him open the door to come out. Before he could open it all the way, I lunged into him, shut the bathroom door behind me, and tackled him down to the floor. He kicked me off, pulled out a knife, and stabbed me in my side. I gritted my teeth, felt blood trickle down my side, and grabbed onto his wrist. We struggled back and forth for control of his blade, and I was able to move his hand aside, get on top of him, and slam down a vicious headbutt into his face. I busted open his nose and put him in a daze. He slammed an elbow across my temple, reversed positions on me, and got on top. He swung the knife directly down at my face, and at the last split split second, I grabbed his striking wrist and stopped the end of the knife from stabbing into my eye. He was pushing down as hard as he could, and the point of the blade was 2 centimeters away from blinding me. Then I swung my legs up and around his neck and put him in a triangle choke with my thighs. I squeezed and squeezed, then his face turned red, then blue, then purple. His eyes fluttered, and he passed out. I got up, checked the wound at my side, and then quickly turned him over and used my rope and cloth to gag him and tie him to the toilet. I went to step out and saw his bodyguard. It was the same man I had run into on the street with the snake tattoo on his neck and the thick mustache. He was standing right in my face. His eyes darted down towards his buddy, then he looked at me. I quickly scanned him for a gun or any other weapon. Then to my surprise, he said, "We need to talk in private." I was shocked and confused, but something about this man was very different from the others. I carefully followed him into a nearby empty bedroom, and he closed the door. I had my hand on my gun, just in case this was some ploy. "No need to worry, I'm on your side." "What side is that exactly?" He reached into the side of his boot and pulled out a small ID with his face on it. "I'm an undercover FBI agent. My real name's John Cantor. I've been undercover with these guys for over 2 years. Separate to Giuseppe just murdering the senator, he has done so many despicable things, he has to be put down." This was so confusing and strange. "Then why don't you put him down, or bring him in yourself?" "I want to more than anything, but my handler won't give me the go-ahead. I realized that I can't take it anymore. It's killing me having to watch what he does and get away with it." I was genuinely surprised to hear this. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I know what he put you through. I know how he just upended your life and you want revenge. Well, I can help you. I can set you up to take him down, but you need to pull the trigger. I can't do it. My plan wasn't to do that. My plan was to just bring him back to the prison and come clean." He started pacing, growing frustrated. "That's not a plan. It doesn't matter if he's behind bars. He gives orders to kill people anyway. I can't take it anymore, man. You need to kill Vito and Giuseppe. Cut the head off the snake. If you do it, I'll tell the FBI that you were actually working with me to get him out so we could bust him." "I don't know, man. I've never killed anyone before, and I never wanted to." He stopped, leaned against the wall, and covered his face in tears. "If you don't do it, he'll be taking out the senator's wife and son, and 3 more families that are connected to his incarceration. He's on a mission to destroy anyone that was responsible for putting him behind bars. He's an animal, and he needs to be put down." The door to the bedroom flung open to reveal Vito and Giuseppe, both holding machine guns directly towards both of us. I felt my stomach turn. I was a dead man. Then they both turned their guns at the undercover FBI agent, and Giuseppe glared at him. "So you want me dead, huh?" I was horrified. How did he know what we had just spoken about? Then I saw Vito look up at the corner of the room and saw a small surveillance camera. "Did you really think I don't keep a very close eye on every single one of my men? How do you think I stayed in power for as long as I have?" Vito took out a hunting knife. "Can I take care of him, boss?" "Nah, he's mine. I'll take my time with that one. Put him in the basement. I'll take this one to the living room." I shared a sad look with the undercover FBI agent as he got taken away by Vito. In the living room, Giuseppe looked at me, lit a cigar, and smiled. "My own personal clown. How are you?" My throat tightened, and I stayed quiet. "I hear you want to work with me and help free all of my guys. Is this true, or did you come to my home with some other agenda?" I had to think fast and overcome the intensity of terror I was experiencing. "I came here because I wanted to show you how serious I am about working for your organization." He stared at me, doubtful. "Think about it. Why else would I choke out one of your guys and tie him to a tree in your backyard?" I realized that this might be my only chance to capture him, and all I needed to do was get close enough to disarm his weapon and choke him out. He smiled at me. "I like you, clown. I'll tell you what, you want to work for me? Do whatever I say." "Okay, fine. Bark like a dog." He was serious, so I had to do it. "Rough, rough, rough." He laughed and lowered his gun just a little, but I needed it to be lowered even more. "Now hop on one leg and keep barking." I did what he asked, and he cracked up harder. "Now swim with your arms and keep barking and hopping." I did it. "Rough, rough, rough." He laughed so hard that he coughed and lowered his gun. I saw my opportunity, so I leaped across the room, ripped the gun out of his hands, tossed it onto the floor, then wrapped my arm around his neck, got behind him, and took him down to the ground. I slammed a few hard punches into his face, and he looked up at me with an unexpected terror in his eyes. I felt a twisted excitement that I had never felt in my life, so I grabbed his arm, put him in an armbar, and snapped it. "Ah!" Then I put him in a vicious choke, twisted him like a pretzel, and busted his spine. "You'll never walk again. Now who's the clown?" I pulled his crippled body closer to me. "Take a good long look into my eyes, you sick piece of crap. My face will be the last one you see." He foamed at the mouth and started wheezing, then pissed himself and went lifeless. I held the neck crank and sent the ugly prick to hell. I felt an ice-cold chill travel through my gut, then heard Vito's footsteps footsteps approaching, looked up and saw him standing in the doorway, holding his shotgun at his side. His eyes bulged when he saw Giuseppe laying in a lifeless, crooked mess on the floor. "What did you do?" I rushed over to the shotgun, picked it up, and aimed it at him. "Drop your gun." He hesitated, and I took a sharper aim. I said, "Drop your gun right now. I am not playing with you." He hesitated. I could see him thinking about drawing his weapon as I yelled, "Don't do it! Don't!" The dumbass couldn't help himself. He raised his gun, and I put 2 bullets in him. I stared at him, then at Giuseppe in complete shock with a wicked mix of relief. I ran down to the basement and set the FBI agent free, showed him what I'd done, and he was amazed. "Holy crap, you did it! You freaking took out the number 1 and number 2 guys of the Sicilian Mafia. Holy hell, you're gonna be a hero." I wouldn't go that far. I called the police and the FBI. As soon as they arrived, I was shocked because I saw the undercover FBI agent run out the back. I followed him out and saw him jump into his car and peel out. Where the hell was he going and in such a rush? For some reason, I got a sinking feeling about my sister, so I called her and she didn't answer. I quickly jumped in my car before the cops could question me and rushed over to her place. As I turned the corner, I saw the FBI agent's car in her driveway. My stomach dropped. Why was he here? I was surprised to Joanna walking out of her front door with her bags packed. I got out. "What's going on?" She saw me, dropped her bags, and completely froze. My sister was speechless. "Why is this FBI agent parked in your driveway?" She hesitated awkwardly. Then the FBI agent got out, put his arm around her, and smiled. "We might as well come clean. He busted us anyway." All my sister could do was stare down at the ground. "You caught us, pal. Congratulations." I was completely confused. "How do you two know each other?" "We've been hooking up for over a year. Your sister set you up. And when you killed Giuseppe and Vito, you gave me a chance to steal 10 mil of their cash. Thanks for that." Joanna looked at me with sadness in her eyes. "Sorry, I gotta go. We have to catch a plane to Italy." My knees buckled. She was in on it the whole time. They both jumped into the FBI agent's car and took off. My jaw dropped.